All right, so this is technically episode 3 of KARJAKA and Coffee. We did two episodes, if you will. I know we're on Instagram Reels right now, but we did 2 other episodes and kind of started tweaking things with a minimal budget and setup. And so right now we're doing this. I'm Alex KARJAKA of KARJAKA Studios, where we provide everything that you need visually and audioly, amongst other things. And our producer, Justin Brown, who you can't see, who is producing this right now and recording it, is behind. He's waving. Basically, this is our third episode attempt, if you will. We did a couple tries with this. We're currently in my living room out in here in Astoria, Queens, just outside Manhattan. And just wanted to kind of check in and say, like, listen, just because you might not have the greatest setup or like you don't have the greatest equipment doesn't mean that you can't do more of this kind of work in today's world. We're always kind of worried about like, okay, we need the perfect camera, the perfect mic, the perfect setup, setting, location, whatever. But there's something to be said about doing the stuff with just using your own creativity and what raw materials that you have on hand. And so Justin and I were just talking about the fact that like in addition to being a commercial photographer, I'm also a professional clarinetist, as is Justin, amongst all these other musical instruments that he's plays. And in talking about, like mic position, right? Like, so we're using the Shure SM7, right? And I'm used to hearing like when you watch all these, TikToks and videos, everybody's got their voice right here, so you get that velvety sound. But as a visual artist, I also don't like having a big microphone in my face, but I also want that sound. So we spent about a good 5 minutes kind of negotiating where to put the mic to get the best sound in relationship to frequency range. Anyway, so we're going to experiment with different mics, but that brings me to like the same way with cameras, the same way with setups. It's like each camera that you use like has its own tool, has its own purpose. It's a 1974 Rolleiflex 2f8, shoots film, not digital, and it's one of my favorite cameras to shoot with. But it's got a very distinct look depending on the film that you use, the light. But it has its own purpose, its own usage. I'm totally hitting this mic with the camera right now, which is awesome. And in doing so, basically, I use this for certain projects or personal items, but I don't really use this to shoot client work in today's world where everything needs to be fast and processed immediately. And not to say that we couldn't do this, but it's the right tool for the right time. No different than this microphone, no different than using the tool of my apartment as opposed to using a studio setup. So anyway, that's a quick overview of just using the right tools for the right job. The guys over at PhotoCare and I always talk about like the right camera, the right lens. Like each camera has its own purpose. Each setup, has its own purpose, and just making the best out of every moment and what you have versus focusing on what you don't have or the like. Anyway, my name is Alexander KARJAKA. You can call me Alex, and welcome to technically episode 3, but we'll call it episode 1 of KARJAKA and Coffee. This is me and my coffee. Stay tuned for more things KARJAKA, and hopefully in the near future with these, we'll do some interviews and talks about camera with other professionals and blah, blah, blah that everybody's doing. And we thought we'd jump on the bandwagon and give our perspective in this social media world. So thanks for tuning in, and see you soon. Cheers.